press the pen against paper. But let's get to it. As you can see in this little window, I've run out of ink. Only see a couple dots in there. So today I'll be cleaning this out and filling it with this Lamy black ink. Alright. Move that off to the side for a second while I get my little bowl of water. Now, cleaning a fountain pen and filling it isn't necessarily hard. It's more of trying to prevent ink from getting everywhere, because working with liquid ink, of course. So, with many fountain pens, you'll have a plunger, as you see here, or perhaps you'll have a rubber bag that's contained in this area. Originally, this pen came with a little cartridge of ink, but I didn't want to use a cartridge. I wanted to go old school. So I bought myself a little converter. This pen was about 20 bucks. And I'd say it's worth it. I mean, if you don't lose it and you... Oh, look at that. I've already got ink on me. I'm just an amateur, so... Already got ink on me, look at that. Anywho, better clean this off before it gets ink everywhere. Look at that. I think that's one of the coolest parts about cleaning a fountain pen. Watching the ink in the water. And to clean a fountain pen, you'll just dip the tip into the water. You only need to fill it up, put that much in. And then you twist the plunger, squeeze the bag to push out whatever ink is left. Oh my. And then you pull water in, push it all back out. You can see the water starting to turn like a purplish black. There we go. See, it's getting a lot cleaner on the inside. That's what we want. Clean out all the excess ink. Pick up some of the clean water, drop it in the dirty water. It's rather convenient how it doesn't spread too fast. Alrighty, almost done. Just a couple more times. Look at that. Looks almost completely clear. Alrighty, last one. Looks like our water is getting pretty dirty. There we go. Look at that. Stuck an ink on me. Alright, let's put this down and grab a couple paper towels. Dry it off. Just dry it off. We still might get some ink out of it because ink likes to stick to things. Move the bowl out of the way real fast. Here we are. Let's see. Still got a little bit of ink coming out. But it's pretty much dry. It's pretty much clean. Let's hold the nib just very gently because you can bend them. You can get one nibs made of gold, which the nib is this part that you write with. It's a removable piece. It's attached to here, which for the life of me I can't remember the name of right now. But then you have the converter. And this fountain pen consisted of, not including the barrel and the cap, consisted of about 3 parts. Which I might take it apart some other time. But for now, just giving it a basic clean. used a lot lately in class. There we go, almost done. Just gonna get any leftover water and ink out. Otherwise, it'll make the ink very pale in color. Just have a nice deep dark black. You get more of a gray. Which I guess if you want to work with ratios, you could have different shades of black and different shades of... oh, I'm not going to say that. Shades of black and shades of white. We're not going to get into grays. And that should be good. There we are. Alright, now for the very tricky part. Set that down for a second. Now, this is sensitive stuff. Spill this and you're not going to have a good day. So we have to be very careful. You don't necessarily have to shake the jar. I just like shaking the jar. And that should be good. Alright, very carefully. Remove the cap. Oh, that's unfortunate. Little paper piece is stuck on. Let's carefully remove that. Let's not get ink everywhere. Come on, little guy. Come on. Oh, there we go. Ah, it spit at me. Look at that. You little jerk. There we go. I probably should have broken that seal earlier, but hey. Alright. Now, this jar is not very deep. It's only about that deep, not including this little ring for the cap. So we're just gonna stick it in up to about right here. Then we're gonna twist it out to pull ink into the converter. And then push it right back out, like that. And we'll do that about twice, just so that the entire converter and pen is full of ink. Alright, so push all the way down. Alright. Stick the pen in. Twist the little red knob. Pull it up. See all the air bubbles? We don't want those. We're going to push it back down. All the way back down. And then back up. Let's do it a couple more. So, one more time. And back out. There we go. That was a lot better. Alrighty. Now you see all the ink that's on there, and there's a lot of ink around here. We gotta clean that off before we can use the pen. Although, pro tip, put the cap on. Pro tip, so you don't get ink everywhere and stain your clothes and stain your hands like I just did, but worse. So I'll move that off to the side. And now we just roll the pen carefully in the paper towel to clean off the nib and clean off any excess ink that stuck to the outside of the pen. test it, of course. So let's move a couple things around, get them out of the way. Get ourselves a sheet of paper. Here we are. Now, I gotta admit, my handwriting isn't too great, so I'll probably be doodling a little bit. Alrighty. Let's see here. It's always the hardest part, trying to figure out something to draw. I'll find out something simple. This little smiley face, and we'll take it from there. I barely need to touch the page. Like, watch. No force whatsoever. Drawing a smooth line. Shaky, but smooth. Pressing down simply makes it sort of bold, and with more flexible nibs, like ones made of gold, you can get pretty creative. Hence why they're called calligraphy pens. And there's a thick line, very to an average line. It's only marginally thicker because it's a stainless steel nib, so it doesn't bend too much, or doesn't flex too much. I'm sure if I pressed hard enough it would bend and wouldn't be able to use it anymore. So, and I did find a neat trick, at least for my pen, where if I turn it upside down, just the nib is down, it creates an even thinner line. Look at that. So, if you enjoy having more vintage style of writing, the Lamy All-Star is pretty cheap compared to some, and it's lasted me almost a year now. Actually, no, over a year. Wow. Still writes just fine. And I haven't bought a new jar of ink in months. Because a full pen, if you write a couple times a week, maybe write a letter or taking notes, you only have to fill it every couple weeks or every few weeks. And ever since I got this pen, I've been writing a lot more letters. Just because it's a little more fun and it looks very different from a ballpoint pen. I'll actually demonstrate real fast. If I can find a ballpoint pen. Give me a moment. There's one. Oh. And why not grab a Sharpie as well? Here we are. So here, I've got the Zebra Z-Grip Medium. Just your average ballpoint pen with a click. There we are. Now when it comes to ballpoint pens, let's draw a couple lines. So, with one thing with a ballpoint pen is if the ink on the ball dries out, and then you have to do the whole thing where you draw a couple circles in order to get the pen working. With a fountain pen, I haven't had that sort of a situation. So for this line, I pressed down quite a bit. For this one, I pressed down just, your average weight. size with these. This one being the thickest. But with a ballpoint pen, there's barely even noticeable. Now let's go for the Sharpie. Your average fine point Sharpie permanent marker. There we are. Let's do our 3 lines. One, press down pretty hard. One where your average pressing down. And then not at all. Again. See, very little difference. Very little difference between them. So, oh, look at that, bled through. Now, with a fountain pen, you can have it bleed through, just as the Sharpie did. But that's if you're using really thin paper. And in that case, you can press very lightly, and you won't have to worry about as much bleed through. Let me demonstrate. So, if I just write really slowly, maybe do a couple circles, fill in a bit of a black spot. There we go. Yeah, that little square is full of ink. Look at that. If I look on the back, it bled through. Didn't bleed on the table though, which is good. But in that case, you just don't write as hard. Oh, I think I got a little bit of dried ink on that. That's interesting. That's never happened to me before. I'll have to clean that off. Pick it off some tweezers, maybe. Oh, it fell off. Okay, that's good. Alrighty. All that is that. This is the Lamy All-Star fountain pen. Made in Germany. It goes for about $20 on the Lamy online store. It's been a while, so I don't remember how long it took to get to me, but it wasn't too long. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Good night, good morning, good day, whatever time it is where you are.